Carol Cookie, is she good? Is she bad? Should you summon? In today's video, we're going to figure that out by going through and doing some testing in PvP, PvE, and also like guild boss, stuff like that, just in all facets of the game to see if she's actually worth spending your gems to max her out to 5A or not. So yeah, let's hop into it. So guys, I think we should first talk about the pros and cons of Carol Cookie. So let's go ahead and hop into the pros first. Number one, she does an insane amount of healing. I'm talking in some PvP matches at 5A, I've seen her do over 7-8 million healing, which is really big. Number two, her crit buff is actually really big for the team and can help the team out a lot as far as dealing extra damage and finishing off units. And three, she is pretty decent for PvP, or I would say kind of decent for PvP if you run double heals. Now we'll get into the PvP stuff a little bit later, but that's just another con I had here on my list. But now guys, let's hop into the cons. Starting off at number one, Carol Cookie is an extremely squishy cookie. So with Carol Cookie, you want to run her on at least full cooldown, at least 20% cooldown is as much damage just as you can possibly give her. But she is still really squishy and dies really quick. So it's coming up to point number two now. She can never usually pop off the second part of her passive with full cooldown because she dies so early on into the match, and she's not one of the last remaining cookies, so she can't give the reduced cooldown to the team or extra healing to the team or even attack the enemy, which is kind of a big bummer. So guys, with using Carol in PvP, you are going to have to run her on a double healing team, because if you don't, your team does get slapped pretty fast, and not because of lack of healing on her part, because she dies so quick that you don't have enough healing to provide you for the rest of the match. So we're in a match right here against Coco Jr. XD, someone on my friends list here that's a pretty mid-range person. He ends around Master 2 every season. So he's a little bit below me as far as like actual like ascensions, cookies, and stuff like that. So this is a good test to see how much that she can heal, and just how she does as far as healing, dropping a DPS to grab an extra healer. And is it really worth it? See, already dead, did proc the revive off. The whole team is just kind of dying against this team now. And I can show you what this team does, dropping Carol Cookie for an extra DPS. As you see, we lost there. I don't usually lose against him, but let's just see here. As far as the healing done, as you can see, 5.4 million healing out of Carol Cookie and 3.9 million healing out of a 4-star BTS cookie. So absolutely insane amount of healing. The problem is you lose so much DPS on this that it's hard to justify to actually use Carol Cookie. Let me try swapping to another DPS. Now what we're going to do is we're going to swap to a separate, more powerful DPS that will help Wolf out a little bit more as far as damage goes. And then we're also going to swap out Carol Cookie after that to another DPS cookie altogether and run more DPS and see how that does. Back into this match using Espresso instead of Frost Queen to see if there's any difference as far as damage goes, just so we know it's not a damage problem. It could be a damage problem actually. My Frost Queen's kind of copium, but nonetheless, let's try it with Espresso instead of Frost Queen to see what kind of damage this team is going to do with Espresso instead of Frost Queen. So guys, as you can see here, we won the match that time, but the problem is that, as you can see, so squishy that they're proccing the revive off. My other cookies weren't getting close to dying as much as Carol was against this team, and Carol had to proc the revive off, which is honestly not that good. As you can see, Carol is healing the most, but look as far as how much healing Carol is receiving. It's the third most on the team at over 1 million healing to themselves because they are just dying so frequently. And guys, there's one final sanity run against this team. We're going to be running this team without Carol Cookie, just using BTS for healing, with Frost Queen and Espresso both on the team together. Let's see how this team does if the team dies, if Carol is really necessary to even use on the team, and so on and so forth. So hopefully we'll get some good results here to show you guys to see if Carol's really necessary on the team. Guys, so as you can see there, we did proc a revive off one time. I believe on our Frost Queen we proc that revive off, and yeah guys, we won that match without needing Carol Cookie really. As saying that Caramel Arrow is a big counter to Frost Queen because, you know, they can't be debuffed, so they just do damage to you. But overall, you really don't need on Carol on your team because she's kind of squishy and a lot of the healing she does. Honestly, guys, I think Carol's healing is inflated by the amount that Carol is actually healing herself as well. So yeah, if we're looking at the healing done here, 2.9 million from our BTS cookie. And as far as healing received, everyone received a pretty decent amount of healing. It's a little bit lower than the last match, of course, but overall, we still received a pretty decent amount of healing. So all in all, guys, I think Carol can be used on arena teams. It's just not necessary to use on an arena team, such as like a BTS cookie. So I still think in arena, BTS and Unicorn are still better options to pick over Carol Cookie. So guys, hopping into the PvE things now, we're going to be taking Carol Cookie against the Living Abyss monster. This is the boss I think she's would probably be best for. Maybe Dragon too. She might be helpful against Dragon. So guys, what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be taking her in against a level 34 Living Abyss monster and testing out her with almonds and with swift chocolates to see if she can really provide more damage than Cotton Cookie, or provide more team survivability than Cotton Cookie can, because my Cookie team dies immediately on like 20 seconds left at level 34, so we'll see how it goes. I did do some previous testing, and with full CD, she got around 43 million damage with a team. With full almond, she got around 48 million with a team, and Cotton with full swifts got around 52 million for the team, so it seems like Cotton's still the better option. All the cookies end up dying at 20 seconds regardless. Alright guys, we're going to be hopping into our first test now against level 34, like I said before. Go ahead and pop all their abilities off. It's water splashes, hit Finn. Go ahead and have that on cooldown, your Squid Ink on cooldown, then launch those off. And then from here, I just let it go auto. It's because I think this is going to give us the most accurate and result. Because I think this is going to give us the most accurate results. Just let it go on auto, let it do its own thing, and then we'll do it with full almonds the same way to get a good baseline with every attack. We don't want to be skewing the results by changing like timings and waiting on timings and stuff like that at all. I just want to see what the cookie can do off rip, and then of course you can adjust from there if you like what you see, of course. As you can see though, yeah, at the 30-second mark, this team usually does die all the way. It's just depending on how much damage we actually do now with that. Okay, so coming out here, 24 million damage. This is actually a lot less damage than I did before. Yeah, so originally, like I said, I did 43 million damage, so 24 million damage is a big decrease in damage. But yeah, let's go ahead and hop into it now with full almonds and see how it does. Alright guys, now we're hopping into here level 34 again with full almonds on Carol. Let's see how it does. Alright guys, as you can see here, we hit that 30-second mark. Macaron did die, and basically the rest of our team died there. And I want to say that's because they didn't receive enough healing. Also, Cotton really does help in the front line to help defend against some of the attacks from the minions from Wolf. So Wolf does survive a little bit longer there. As you can see, with full almonds, we did around 31 million damage. So we did a little bit more damage there. Still not the 48 that I hit earlier, but nonetheless, we did a little bit more damage with the almonds. So if you're going to run her on Abyss, you want to run full almonds. Alright guys, now it's time to bring Cotton in instead of Carol to see how Cotton can do. As you can see, Cotton Cookie has nowhere near the stat line as Carol Cookie had. Carol Cookie having over 20% damage resist and cooldown. Cotton Cookie's gonna have 18.6% and 14.4% cooldown. I did do this because the ascensions are a bit higher, so the results would be a bit skewed either way, just because of the higher ascension level. So I tried to bring the stat line down a bit, because 4A and 3A is a pretty big difference in stats. So let's just hop into it here and see how it goes. I'll probably just do a time lapse of this part here, because you probably don't want to see this boring battle anyways. So yeah, we're going to hit everything off here, and then let's see how it goes. Around the 30-second mark, we'll come back. The team will probably be dead, and we will have our final thoughts there. Look at the damage and everything like that. Alright guys, as we're coming up on the 30-second mark now, this is where the team normally dies at. As you can see, everyone's basically dying. But just from the looks of things, I think we've already done more damage. Wolf is already surviving a bit more than last time, and this is because of summons that Cotton does provide in the front to help give him a little bit extra HP to help work with here. I'm surprised. We usually die around the 20-second mark, so with me surviving this long, I am actually fairly surprised we survived even this long on level 34. Yeah, so there we go. Let's go ahead and take a look at the damage here. As you can see, a big 67 million damage on this, so it's a huge increase in damage just to use Cotton here. So guys, in my final opinion on Carol Cookie, if I were to give her a rating on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say Carol's probably a solid 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. I don't think Carol's the best cookie. I think she has her uses in PvP. I don't think she's really going to be used in PvE. So should you summon and get her 5A, I don't think so unless you really like her. I think this cookie is pretty circumstantial even. I don't think this is like the cream of the crop healing cookie that everyone wished that they would be. I just don't think that they're that good, really. Honestly, I just don't think they're that good. So summon form if you want to summon. I'm going to get mine to 5-star just because I have bonds and stuff like that, you know, whale tactics. But other than that, I really don't think so. Maybe you get a copy or two, but I don't think you should waste your gems if you're a free-to-play player on this cookie. For me, the use case is just not there. Some teams are using her in top 100 as far as like the meta goes, but most teams have already scrapped the idea of using her anyways. So yeah, I wouldn't say summon. I don't think it's a must summon. I think maybe get one copy for your cookie collection. That's it. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. What are your thoughts on Carol Cookie? Please leave them in the comments below. I would love to hear what you think on Carol Cookie. If she's good, if she's bad, if she sucks, if she's ass. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Later. Bye-bye.